good evening, or good morning, or good night, or whenever you're watching this video. I am in Gozo, which is a little tiny island off Malta. It's 9 miles by 4 miles. It's absolutely glorious. As you can see, it's very hot and sunny and delightful. I'm here because in November I am holding a retreat, The Truth of Who You Are, and I'm doing a bit of a recce. I've got 10 people coming out, so I thought I'd find routes and things to be able to walk and run and do all the things that maybe people want to do, chanting before we have breakfast and get down to the work of the day. And I look a bit as if I've been in the sea, because I have been in the sea and been running, and it's just gorgeous, really, really lovely here. So today I was reflecting that most of my work with people is about relationship. It's about people having difficulty in their relationship with another person or other people, but often just one person, about difficulty in the relationship with their friend, their colleague, their lover, their husband, their wife, their partner, their child, all manner of people. That is essentially massive amount of my work, is helping people to navigate this and navigate themselves to a place of harmony, and being aware essentially of the truth, which is that it is all us, that ultimately we can heal the relationship by healing ourselves, that the relationship we have with another is hugely dependent on the relationship we have with ourselves. So when we react and are furious or angry or hurt, or feel we're not important, or feel we've been rejected, or feel we're not loved or lovable, or that we're in some way being wronged, whenever we feel that, the moment we react, we actually cut off love to the other in front of us. And the moment we've done that, then the space between is no longer safe. The space between us immediately is a place that isn't safe anymore. And the relationship takes place in the space between us. All relationships do. They take place there. And then actually what's happened is there's a barrier within us. What actually has happened is we've accessed the barrier in us to love of ourselves. And therefore, when we feel upset, when we feel reactive, it is so vital to press that pause button and to not to act out of it. Now, often it's too late and people do, but at least having this awareness, even if you act out of it, to say, sorry, I've acted out of my reaction, and therefore you're in the past. If you act out of a reaction, the whole thing loops round. And often what's happened is you've had a feeling in the body. Now that something has reminded you of something that's hurt you in the past, whatever the person said or done. And then what happens is there's a loop, a psychological drama, where your mind has a story, your body has a feeling, and you get stuck, and then you make it the other. It's never the other. It's never the other. It's always us, always us. If we've reacted, it's always us. Now this, I'm now going to contradict myself. That doesn't mean that you have to stay in a toxic situation or in an abusive situation, or that a relationship doesn't need something addressing on a conversation or behaviour changes. It doesn't mean that at all. But if you've reacted and you're in a place of pain, of whether it feels like anger or upset or being wronged, it is always you. That is always you. And it's best to say, this is me, and it needs processing. It needs processing immediately. Now, if you've got the person in front of you, that can sometimes be hard. And if you can press that pause button and not act out of it, often you need to just hold steady, breathe. Sometimes just breathing can mean you don't act out of it, and you can stay present. Because the moment you react, you're not in the present moment anymore. You're in the past. You can be up to 90% in the past, and you're just going to reenact something coming from your pain. So it's very important. Now, you can, if you're not with the person, say you've received a message, or you've had something happen, or someone hasn't replied to a message, or something's gone on, then you've got the opportunity to get it out of you by shouting, screaming, if you're somewhere where you can do that. If there isn't somewhere you can do that, you need to put your head in a pillow and bash and shout and scream. You can write it out of you and burn what you've written without reading it back. Essentially, it needs to come out of your body. It can go out of your body by visualizing the color that changes and transforms. You can breathe deeply and breathe it out. Breathe out all the pain. Just breathe it out. But it can go. Some people just like to feel it and heal it. I've always in the past, when I was, reactive to all sorts of things, generally for me in relationship with men, it's been a huge place of growth for me. Then I could feel it, feel the pain, and feel the pain in the body and not act out of it. And that was how I cleared it. Just feel it and feel it and feel it and feel it and not act out of it. And then it eventually goes. Sometimes not immediately, but you just don't act out of it. Don't act out of it. Know it's you, however much you want to make it the other. People so want to make it the other person. They so want to, and it never ever heals anything or solves anything, because we're actually absolutely all one. We are all one. There is no separation. And what we do unto another, we do unto ourselves. That is, I was brought up as a Christian, and that was, knew the Bible well, and that was something that, I read in the Bible. What we do to another, we do to ourselves, because actually it hurts us. It hurts us and it hurts them, and we all just hurt the energy and we hurt the space between. So really, we can transform ourselves and the relationship by healing ourselves. When we react, we are in pain, and there's something come up for healing. If there's any conflict in relationship, it means there's something come up for healing, and therefore it's vital to take responsibility for our part. So even if we're in a relationship where someone else isn't taking responsibility, we can do a huge amount to transform the relationship by clearing our reactivity, not acting out of reactivity, and being able to speak with clarity. Because as I said, it's not about not addressing things. There often needs to be things addressed in relationship, having conversations, find out how you can go forward, and have really good chats. But just think of the space between as where the relationship takes place, and that what we put in it affects the quality of the relationship, and that really we are completely responsible. We are 100% responsible for our part in relating, and we need to be mindful of what we're putting into the space. And if it comes out of reaction, any reaction or judgment, it is never going to be good for the relational space. Observing humans is great, it's fun, we all do it. But if we're reactive or we are judgmental, there is something about us going on. Always, 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 always. It's an opportunity for absolute transformation. And that's everything, even tiny things, even people you see on the television, in the street. If you are reactive to them or you judge them, there's something to do with you going on. And the moment you are reactive or judgmental, you, as I say, contaminate the space in between us all, and also you cut off love to you, which is the main painful thing, that there's a barrier in love to you. And really, we can change the world by changing ourselves, as has been said many times. Change the world. If you want to change the world, change yourself. We can change the world by being a light unto ourselves and spreading that light everywhere. And we can have great relationships. We can have harmonious, growthful, transformative relationships. But we do need to go from the position that if we react, it is our responsibility to investigate that. Investigate where that wound came from, investigate, or at least just clear. I mean, sometimes I'm obviously worked in therapy with people, and people find it useful, and I actually think it's useful to find out where that originated from in this life, where you originally felt left out because, there was something going on in your family, and you were the child that was left out, or you were the child that didn't get noticed, whatever it might be. Sometimes the original place can be very useful to people to see where the wound originated, but thereafter actually it's our responsibility. Whatever happened to us when we were little children is not our fault, but it is our responsibility to heal it now we're adults, and it's completely our responsibility. And it is a moment by moment by moment commitment where we come back to presence, and we notice if we're reactive to small things, to people, as I say, anywhere we may encounter. And then our more significant relationships, we're more prepared to go, okay, I'll work with my part, I'll work with my part. And in working with our part, it can be the most transformative thing. I think that's all for now. It's lovely to see you again, and I hope whatever's going on behind me, it was quiet when I came out, hasn't interfered in the video, but I look forward to ongoing seeing you, and thank you for joining me.